Susie H. I1 had secretly loved Pei Yia Cheng since her school days. He was devastatingly handsome, and after her shameless, persistent pursuit, she finally melted this icy giant. Shortly after graduation, they eloped. Pei Yia Cheng excelled academically and soon became the head physician at a central city hospital. But his busy schedule made him, already cold and aloof by nature, work until he stopped coming home at night. Sometimes he returned with unfamiliar perfume on his clothes. Susie Hi1 grew tired of the suspicion and loneliness, gradually losing patience with him. But his genes were too good to waste. So after one night of her initiating a deep communication, she left a divorce notice on the table. The next morning and boarded a plane abroad. 3 months later, she walked into an internal medicine clinic with her appointment slip. A man in a white coat sat inside, mask covering most of his face. "Doctor, what do the results say?" she asked hopefully. He looked up with his cold eyes. It was Pei Yia Cheng. "It shows you're pregnant. And it's mine." Her mind in chaos, she turned and bolted, twisting her ankle on the way out. She hid in an alley and called her best friend Songhwan Xin, who swore she hadn't betrayed her. It turned out Pei Yia Cheng, unable to contact her, had offered Song 800 yuan for her whereabouts, but she had refused. That night, she received a friend request from someone claiming to be Drive. Liu Ying, who had examined her that day, asking her to come back for a detailed checkup. She agreed but requested a female doctor. The next day, armed with precautions, she went to the hospital. She didn't see Pei Yia Cheng anywhere. Just as she was about to leave, a nurse called her back, saying she had missed one test. She followed unsuspecting Lai into an exam room. Pei Yia Cheng was inside, and the door was locked. He told her to undress and lie down for the ultrasound. Afterward, as she tried to leave, he asked why she had left without saying goodbye. She said she didn't love him anymore and that the child was his. He raised an eyebrow, placed a key on the table, and said, "Next time, you don't need to take off your underwear." Furious, she grabbed the key, unlocked the door, and threw it at him. She met Songhwan Xin at a cafe and told her she was pregnant and that Pei Yia Cheng had become her OB/GYN. Deep down, Susie Hi1 knew their marriage had only happened because of her outrageous persistence. If she hadn't threatened suicide to force him into marriage, he wouldn't have touched her. A tempi. Dr. Liu Ying messaged saying she'd left her ID in the office. Susie Hi1 went alone. The front desk told her no such doctor existed. Then Pei Yia Cheng appeared, put his arm around her shoulder, and told the nurse she was his wife. She broke free and ran into the stairwell. He cornered her. "Then who was it that threatened suicide to marry me?" She looked away. He handed her a bottle of vitamins, saying he was returning to China tomorrow. Suspicious. She refused. He took one himself. She snatched the bottle and swallowed one sweet orange flavor. Seconds later, her vision blurred, her limbs went weak, and she collapsed into his arms. He caught her falling asleep. "Anywhere, wife." She blacked out. She woke up in an unfamiliar bedroom, shackles around her wrists. Pei Yia Cheng walked in. She warned him that illegal imprisonment was a crime. He said, "Wife, you're abroad right now." She reminded him she was pregnant. He kissed her forehead and left. She decided to play along, pretending to be obedient so he would let down his guard. The next day, she let him feed her breakfast, calling him husband sweetly. That night, he undid her shackles and told her to get into bed. She thought, with her pregnancy, he wouldn't dare touch her. He did. "Let's make another one to keep this one company," he murmured. A month passed. The door was still locked. She acted coy, saying it had been too long. He said, "When you stop wanting to run away, we'll talk." Then she felt a rush of warm blood. She panicked, screaming she was miscarrying. Pei Yia Cheng laughed and pointed to a cabinet. She opened it. "Pads, period. But impregnant. Who said that?" "I certainly didn't." She realized she had been deceived. She was never pregnant. The next day, after he left, she decided to escape through the window. Second floor without a pregnancy to worry about. She could manage it. She was halfway out when a maid walked in, saw her, and screamed, thinking she was attempting suicide. In the chaos, she lost her balance and fell into Pei Yia Cheng's arms. He caught her. She laughed awkwardly and claimed she had slipped while cleaning the windows. He said, since my wife loves cleaning windows so much, you can clean all the windows in the villa. She gained freedom of movement as a maid. While cleaning the study, she knocked over a box. A black notebook fell out, a photo peeking from its pages. Before she could pick it up, two maids appeared. One of them slapped her hard across the face. Hearing footsteps approaching, she pretended to cry and ran out, straight into Pei Yia Cheng's chest. He squatted down, touched her face gently, then said, "Since you did it to yourself, let's call it a day," and walked into the study. Furious, she kicked the door open and stormed in. He got up, caught her wrist, brought her to the couch, knelt before her, and kissed her swollen cheek. "If my wife told me to die, I would gladly do so." She pushed him away and ran. Behind her, Pei Yia Cheng made a call, review the footage. "Whoever raised a hand against my wife, cut off that hand and feed it to the dogs." Then he picked up the fallen notebook, slid the photo from its sleeve, and pressed a fevered kiss onto it. She sneaked to the back garden and found a locked gate. She crouched down with a wire and began picking the lock. A man named Zhang Xi appeared. She calmly claimed she was there on her master's orders to change the lock. After he left, she finally popped the lock open. Just as she was about to step through, Pei Yia Cheng's shadow fell over her. She grabbed garden shears and claimed she was trimming weeds. A gust of wind blew the gate open. She bolted and was scooped onto his shoulder. She bit him. Thrown onto the bed, she took the initiative, climbing on top of him. Just as his breathing grew ragged, she grabbed her clothes and dashed for the door, locked again. Behind her, he wrapped his arms around her, buried his face in her hair. His voice trembling. "How many more times will you run?" He was crying. Her heart softened. She turned and hugged him, saying she wouldn't run anymore. He lifted his head, tears still in his eyes, but a smile already spreading across his lips. She had been tricked again. Another sleepless night. In the morning, her ankles were shackled together again. She pulled the wire from her pocket. His mistake was not restraining her hands. She picked the locks easily. Creeping down the hallway, she overheard teammates whispering a maid who had offended the lady had her and cut off on the master's orders. Cold sweat ran down her back. Pei Yia Cheng was insane. He had to escape. He slipped through the garden, pried open the side gate, and fled. The wind hit her face as she stumbled forward, not stopping until the house was out of sight. She immediately bought a ticket back to China and hid at Song Huanexen's place. That evening, Pei Yia Cheng returned home to find a note on the nightstand. "Goodbye, Dr. Pei. See you around." He clenched the note. The warmth in his eyes drained completely. "No matter where you hide, wife, I will bring you back." Susie H. I1 carefully erased her races and rented a house in a suburb 800 kilometers from the city center. One morning, a wave of nausea hit her. She went to a local hospital, confirmed Pei Yia Cheng's name was nowhere on staff, and walked into the exam room. A man in a white coat sat behind the desk, writing. "Doctor, what did the results say?" "Oh," she asked. The man looked up slowly. Her blood turned to ice. His gaze fell on her face. His warm fingers gently brushed against her frozen lips, as if touching a treasure lost and found. "Fancy meeting you again, baby."